Now, we do start tracking this major call between President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping, a call President Trump is already characterizing as productive, posting on Truth Social that he and his Chinese counterpart made progress on trade, on fentanyl, the war in Ukraine, and the all-important TikTok deal that affects so many Americans. Going on to say that he would meet with President Xi at the APEC summit in South Korea this November, that he'll be visiting China in the early part of next year, and he'll be welcoming Xi to the U.S. as well. Now, the deal on TikTok and its apparent approval from both parties comes as a ban on that app has been lingering for months now, with several delays, allowing the Chinese parent company to look to sell its controlling stake in order to continue to operate here in the U.S. Now, News Nation's Libby Dean is in D.C. with all of this. Libby, what are the important developments out of this call?
Well, Natasha, President Trump is describing this phone call as very productive, stating the two talked trade, the war in Ukraine, and then most importantly here, and what you just mentioned there, is the president saying these two have agreed to a TikTok deal, but not getting into the specifics of that. But that deal was largely the goal of this phone call with China's president. And it's actually been about 3 months since President Trump and President Xi spoke last on the phone, so there really was a lot for these two to discuss. Now, we were told that this call began at around 8 this morning, so it seems it lasted hours, as the president just said, that it concluded about a half hour ago. Now, in a readout shared by the president himself, he states the two made progress on many very important issues, including trade, fentanyl, the need to bring the war between Russia and Ukraine to an end, and the approval of the TikTok deal. Key there. Details here slim on that TikTok deal, but it actually looks like they are coming to a head here, what these talks look like. I do want us to take a listen to the president describing his goal of this call on Thursday when he was in the UK.
TikTok has tremendous value. The United States has that value in its hand because we're the ones that have to approve it. I specifically get the right to approve it. The people that are investing it are among the greatest investors in the world, the biggest, the richest, and they'll do a great job. And we're doing it in conjunction with China.
So President Trump, they're talking about those investors. They have not been announced, but I have been speaking with a source who's been working closely on this deal from the start. I mean, this has been really a long road to get here. And they tell me that Oracle is one of those companies who's going to be likely the most involved here. Also, some venture capital companies involved as well. But as you mentioned, Natasha, TikTok has around 170 million users here in America. So this potential deal that the president is detailing here during this phone call is likely to stir up reaction across the country. We also got that reaction from China as well, who described this phone call as pragmatic, positive, and constructive. They didn't specifically say that a detail was agreed upon with this TikTok deal, saying the position on TikTok issue is clear. The Chinese government respects the wishes of the company in question and would be happy to see productive commercial negotiations in keeping with market rules lead to a solution. So it looks like ByteDance needs to weigh in here. That's who we need to hear from next. But the president also saying, and this is key here, Natasha, he plans to meet with China's President Xi at that APEC summit that's going to be late October into early November. That's going to take place in South Korea. And then interesting enough here, President Trump saying he wants to travel to China early next year. So a lot of developments, and we're tracking this TikTok deal closely, waiting to hear ByteDance is weighing in here, as we've now heard from President Trump and China as well following this phone call. Natasha.
I appreciate the latest there. Libby Dean live at the White House today. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.